Hi guys, Forgotten Wolf here, and this is episode number 3 of my Game of Thrones House series. This time it's on House Arryn. This is my second time recording it. Now I'm back to using CapCut. House Arryn is the Lords of the Vale. Before we begin, I would like to say thanks so much for 35k views, and the video on Season 8 Game of Thrones theories will be out later this week. With that being said, if you want to see more videos like this, please like, share, and subscribe, and let's begin. House Arryn descends from the Andals, and when the Andal kings invaded Westeros, the Arryns in the Vale decided to side with the rest of Westeros to stop their invasion. Following this, the Vale was its own kingdom, ruled by the Arryns. This was the status quo until Aegon's conquest, where the Vale was the last kingdom to fall. The Arryns stopped the Targaryens from invading for a while, partly because of the Targaryens' inability to take Goldtown. So, in response to this, Aegon's sister wife Visenya decided to use their dragon to get the Vale to bend the knee. Visenya flew into the Vale with her dragon and had the Queen Regent Shayla Arryn's son with them. In order to not lose her son, she bent the knee in exchange to become Lord of the Vale and Warden of the East, I believe, and for her son to ride around the Vale on the dragon. After Aegon's conquest, the Arryns enjoyed frequent marriages to other great houses like the Starks and Targaryens. One such marriage was in House of the Dragon, and it was House Arryn's Emma becoming queen by marrying King Viserys. Together, the two produced Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen. Emma Arryn, however, would die in childbirth, and Viserys would marry Alicent Hightower, who gave him 3 sons and a daughter. Viserys still didn't change his heir from Rhaenyra. This set up House of the Dragon and Dance of the Dragons. In House of the Dragon, Jane Arryn, the current Lady of the Vale, supported the Blacks in exchange for a dragon to be given to them. Queen Rhaenyra sent her 3rd son Joffrey and her cousin Rhaena Targaryen to look after the baby dragon. Lady Jane, however, would arrange for Rhaena and Joffrey to leave, but whilst inside the Vale, Rhaena, I'm assuming, will finally claim her own dragon. Aegon would win the Dance of the Dragons ultimately, and the whole of Westeros was hurt, including the Arryns. For the next decades, the Arryns didn't play a key part as they participated in various Blackfyre rebellions supporting the Targaryens, but House Arryn would also have the marriage of Alice Arryn to a Targaryen prince, Rhaegal Targaryen. The next war the Arryns would play a key part in is Robert's Rebellion. For more detailed account of Robert's Rebellion, go check out that video on my channel. During Robert's Rebellion, Jon Arryn, the current Lord of the Vale, was a key supporter of Robert's, as he had Robert and Ned Stark as wards. This formed an alliance between the Arryns, Starks, and Baratheons. Together, Jon Arryn and Ned Stark would help rescue Robert at the Battle of the Bells, and Jon Arryn, who was also without an heir as all of them had been killed. He was also great at playing the Game of Thrones at forming alliances, so he negotiated with Hoster Tully, Lord of Riverrun and Lord Paramount of the Riverlands, to have the Tullys join the rebels. In order to accomplish this, Ned Stark would marry Catelyn Tully, and Jon Arryn would marry Lysa Arryn. During the brief time of Riverrun, Catelyn Stark became pregnant with her and Ned's first child, Robb. Lysa Arryn hoped she was pregnant as well, but this wasn't the case. Eventually, the rebels won the war, and after the war, Ned named his bastard Jon Snow after Jon Arryn. Following the war, King Robert would name Jon Arryn as Hand of the King. One of Jon's first issues was finding the king a queen after the death of Lyanna Stark. Jon Arryn thought it was a great idea to get the support of the Lannisters by marrying Robert Baratheon to Cersei Lannister. Now, on the surface, this was a good idea, but in reality, this was a terrible idea. Then, 7 years later, Greyjoy's rebellion broke out, and the Arryns supported Robert Baratheon, and the Greyjoys were soundly defeated. After the war, Jon Arryn would finally have his heir, as Lysa Arryn would give birth to the couple's only child, Robin Arryn. Jon Arryn would also learn the secret of Joffrey, Marcel, and Tommen being that they are bastards of Jaime and Cersei. Jon chose to keep the secret because he wanted peace, not war. Although he didn't know that Littlefinger and Lysa Arryn loved each other a lot, and together they decided to poise Jon Arryn and frame the Lannisters, and and Littlefinger wanted to ignite a war between the Starks and Lannisters. After the death of Jon Arryn, to sell the story more, Lysa would flee King's Landing with Robb and Arryn to go back to the Vale. This sets up Game of Thrones show. In the Game of Thrones show, the Arryn/Vale played a minor role, as the only thing they did in Season 1 was have Tyrion be a trial by combat for the murder of Jon Arryn. Tyrion's champion Bronn ultimately ended up winning. However, when Catelyn Stark asked Lysa Arryn to join the war against the Lannisters in support of Robb, Lysa said no because Littlefinger didn't want that. The Vale sat at Season 2, but in Season 3, Tywin Lannister proposed a marriage of Littlefinger to Lysa Arryn to bring the Vale into the fold and doom Robb Stark. Lysa Arryn accepted, and Littlefinger began his journey to the Vale. Then Robb Stark dies at the Red Wedding. Moving on to Season 4, Littlefinger and Olenna Tyrell worked together to poison King Joffrey at his own wedding so Tommen could then become king, and Littlefinger could become in possession of Lysa Arryn's niece, Sansa Stark. Sansa and Littlefinger returned to the Vale, where Lysa Arryn was very happy, and Littlefinger and Lysa were finally married. However, in Season 4, Lysa caught Littlefinger rizzing up Sansa, and this drove Lysa crazy, which resulted in Littlefinger killing Lysa Arryn. If Littlefinger had just waited a little longer, however, he could have gotten his hand on both Stark girls, as Arya Stark was right outside the gates of the Vale thanks to Sandor Clegane. But ultimately, they found out that Lysa Arryn was dead. And that is all from Seasons 1 through 4 in the current history of House Arryn. So until next time, bye!